99 version 2, DynCorp, Haiti, and me. Had a lot of folks saying, look, you focused on Pug Winokur overseas a lot and the topples overseas, and you focused on the virus vaccines and the sex trafficking and the organ harvesting, and that's all well and good for Haiti, but how about Chicago? So there's quite a bit of theory that in the city of Chicago, a lot of these shootings are actually organ harvests, and near these neighborhoods, black site, CIA prison site called Homan Square, Homan Square. So I'm going to cover that in this version of events. CIA has long used poor neighborhoods as drug transshipment points. Gary Webb wrote about it in Dark Alliance in 1984. He talked about how the CIA was shipping drugs in and then arms out for the Iran-Contra. This is the same thing that was happening with Hillary Clinton at the Mina airport. Arms one way, drugs the other way. This man, Michael Rupert, was a CIA agent and a Los Angeles police officer in the Narcotics Bureau. He also said the same thing. Both of these men kind of died this slow, gradual death. Well, the way that happens is you get groups like, Catholics in Action, Christians in Action, or This is the New Life Refuge, or the Branch Davidians, but you plant a revenge motive in them saying that this person's a pedophile or a date rapist, or this person's a pedophile or date rapist. And you break up their marriage, you get them to lose their job, then lose the next lower level job, and then until finally they're in a trailer, and then they commit suicide. Their lives are ruined over time. This is gradual over time. So it's very well known. COINTELPRO, CIA call it chaos. Been around a long time. They just change the names if they ever get discovered. Here's the guy, the CIA guy and then he went to Homeland Security, named Tim Ballard, who runs this Underground Railroad thing. And this is the brownstone ops that I was talking about. And in other episodes, I showed the camera kit they use and everything. And in one of his videos, he actually shows them setting up this operation. But what they do is they take this list of people that they've worked, at DHS over a period of, in the United States I'm talking about now, over a period of 12 years now, and they release those names to these operatives, these people who think they're doing the right thing, and they teach them how to just do little interruptions and disruptions in the person's life. And so it's kind of this revolving door of people that are constantly doing little tiny cuts, to the person. But you end up, if you're the targeted person, you end up thinking, how could they have this many people involved? Well, they just have one group for a while, a couple of days, and then another group, and then another group, and they rotate them in. And it's good money, by the way. They call them surveillance actors. Anyway, surveillance actors, something like that. I'll get the name in the next video. But you get money. It's more than $15 an hour, that's for sure. And you get it $7.24 for the whole time your group is there. So it's a great fundraising mechanism for churches who haven't thought of that already. Surveillance role player. Surveillance role player is what you call them. So just Google surveillance role player and see how much they're paying, because it could be a great fundraiser for your church. But anyway, they show them these clips of these people, maybe this kid with some 16-year-old girl. They say it's 14. They say he did it 50 times. He might have done it once. But anyway, that's the way they implant the revenge motive to get this kind of slow life destruction. So here's another thing, the Cleveland Clinic. Now, I don't believe the Cleveland Clinic is doing organ harvesting, but I do think they're receiving hearts. And you can get a heart from, Chicago to Cleveland, I think, in probably about an hour and a half, or put it on the next commercial flight for that matter, in 3 hours, because with the life cradle, you have 12 hours. But you'll notice that when this story broke, that there was this young Sudanese doctor. They call her a doctor. She's a first-year resident. I guess you're a doctor. But they said, she's from Sudan. Okay, kind of. She's really Saudi Arabian. Now, she might have trained with Paul Farmer and Partners of Health on how to do organ extraction in Sudan, which I believe she did. But that's beside the point. The two doctors that were actually stopped were medical vacationing in Iran, and they were detained in New York and then released. You notice how they don't publish the name of the two doctors. So Finding the name of those two doctors is going to be a clue to the story. I'll just tell you right now. And Trump now knows what's going on. He's hosted the Cleveland Clinic in Mar-a-Lago for the last 6 years, I think, something like that. And they're planning on, even though he stopped the doctor, they're still planning on having their fundraiser there. The theme is not Henry VIII. The theme is Palace of Versailles, to kind of celebrate Louis the 16th, losing his head. So anyway, if somebody can get me who the two doctors are at the Cleveland Clinic through social media, I'll run that down, and we'll find out who our traveling doctors are. So last video I mentioned how this is a revolving door, and I thought the money was coming through Booz Allen, being funneled through DHS, and DHS has these grants, these security grants that they give to various cities, and then the cities dole them out to groups like this, Operation Underground Railroad. So this is Tim Ballard. He runs this Operation Underground Railroad. There's the Haitian child. There's the heart. So anyway, they always throw these winks in, Now, I'm not saying that Tim Ballard doesn't save these kids. I'm just saying that there are some bad guys also on the other side of this, and this is kind of a wink that, hey, their hearts are being taken. Now, if the kids' hearts are being taken too, that's pretty macabre. Anyway, in Syria, the news is 15,000 organs have been missing from children. I believe I could say now where they're being removed, or the training is occurring in Amman, Jordan. The training for the white helmets here occurred in Amman, Jordan, for the heart removals and organ removals for DynCorp in Syria. And it's going to be the same for Iraq. And I think you remember my previous slide here where it said everything kind of trained to Amman, Jordan. The reason why I know this now is I've traced a lot of the CIA agents that trained here and got quote-unquote nursing training in Amman, Jordan. So I'm just putting that out there. I know it's I don't have a lot of proof points on it yet. I'm just quickly putting that out there. I'm not the guy who put the organ harvesting picture on the wall of my office. I'm not the one who makes the cakes of naked women and has heart removal rituals. This is a subtle form of advertising. I mean, he's the sales guy. This is going into the car showroom, but you're buying something that's illegal. He's trying to tell you, hey, I sell hearts. This here is I sell hearts. Okay, and these are going to be bad guys. I have to make sure that everybody in this heart removal process thinks this guy's a pedophile or something. And pedophile is probably the best way to go. And then you feel like you're justified in removing their heart and giving it to somebody who's more deserving. Okay, here's Holman Square. It used to be the site of the old Sears Roebuck building when they first started in North Lawndale in Chicago. There it is now. This is a CIA black site. There's no two. Or you want a DHS, the same thing. DHS in America, CIA. That's where it is, and there's all kinds of community complaints. And you'll always find these restricted areas, and then there's, I don't know if that's a helipad or not. I'm not sure, but in Chicago, there's a person shot every 2 hours and a person murdered every 13 hours. Now, you're going to notice a lot of shots in the abdomen, in the torso, in the lower abdomen. Now, you got a chance of hitting the kidney there, but you definitely want to miss the heart. And a wounded person that's gut shot, probably going to die, is better than shooting somebody in the head, although they've had a lot of headshots as well, because you've got that, in cardiology, you got that golden hour that you got to get that body somewhere and perfuse that heart. So you'll see every night, here's Friday night shootings, usually one death. Saturday night shootings, usually one death. You're always going to usually have one death. I've watched this for 2 years. I've gone to this place. I've reported this story in Chicago twice now. I've been there a month at a time each time. You're going to have at least one death. This is your disorderly orderly. Out of what you want is a lot of shootings and a lot of beds and a lot of activity in the ER. People get confused. They're yelling for stat and all this stuff. And then there's 2 to 4 a.m., the disorderly orderly, the guy with the biker, get up and hair braid and all that with the tattoos. That's when the old pillow comes down. That is the MO. So if you chart the neighborhoods too, it's almost like they have a northwest neighborhood and a south neighborhood. One to feed University of Chicago Hospital and the other one to feed, like Loyola out here. It's almost like the shootings. I realize that Garfield and Austin and Englewood are the just happen to be near a university hospital. So I'm not trying to draw a distinction there, but 800 homicides in Chicago last year. 3,600 people shot. I mean, these numbers, compare these numbers to anywhere else in the United States, anywhere, they're going to be 10 times higher, if not higher. Compared to the worst neighborhoods in Los Angeles, they're going to be 10 times higher. I'm just saying, it's a cover. Here's the people protesting Homan Square. It's been a real hot spot for Chicago. Now, everybody's going to want to talk to me about the University Center in Denver. I'm not going to go there just yet, but the Underground Railroad, there's been a lot of rumor that there's actually an Underground Railroad from the complex in Denver, where the Denver airport is, to a huge CIA underground site kind of going west of Denver, and then a tunnel system going like past Boulder up, going through like Gun Barrel up to Estes Park, Rocky Mountain National Park, and benefiting from the old mines that used to be dug there and everything. So it's kind of like a new NORAD. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with NORAD, where our SAC Air Force, this was the command that could not be hit by a Russian nuclear missile. It would still survive a command. It's all on springs and everything. It's in Cheyenne Mountain to the south, down by Colorado Springs, where the Air Force is based. So there's a lot of people say there's a big circle tunnel. A lot of people say there's a tunnel from one, and then there's a tunnel the other. But the idea is that if the Russians did attack, they would blow up Cheyenne Mountain, and then all the CIA would be safe over in Estes Park. So who knows? Maybe I just blew that cover there. But I don't feel bad about it, because they're doing this. They're using women and girls as sex bait. If they stop, I tell you what, if they stop this Operation Underground Railroad, then I'll stop talking about the Underground Railroad to Estes Park. That's a deal? Okay, deal. All right, so political opposition. People were saying this, there are a lot of people now saying this on-site health services that's run by DynCorp, that these people are trained in organ extraction, and they are saying that the hospital ship, the Comfort, the Navy hospital ship Comfort, was ported in that northern area of Haiti, and 2 to 4 a.m. hours, this area up here, the same area. I don't know if it was at Labadee or where it was. I need to do some more research, but a lot of comings and goings on the hospital ship at 2 to 4 a.m. Now, that could be just regular operations. They had a lot of folks, but we'll look at that. But the supposition is, I showed these maps of 13,000 people going here and 8,500 going up to here. But apparently Haitian records don't show nearly that many people ending up there. So was that the body bags? Was that the collection of the body bags so they could see how the vaccine worked, see how this migration guy, Bill Swing, see how his vaccines worked? I don't know. A lot of people are also saying Petite Frere Sur, my little brothers and sisters, was a constant flow to Mirabile. So it was the 33 that Laura Silsby were caught that one day, that was just one point in time. There was a daily flow of a lot of sick kids. They had cancer kids, they had kids with all kinds of, the different vaccines. So a lot of people are thinking the vaccines are actually go hand in hand with this Petite Frere Sur, since most of the kids were sick. I don't know. I'm just putting that out there for researchers to look at. Again, all we have to do is reduce this count by 1 and just make all the records public for Operation Underground Railroad. Okay? Just make the USAID payouts to any contractors available to the public, any off-budget black book accounts. Same thing for the black site in Chicago. Same thing for the Underground Railroad project over here in Denver. Just let us know who worked on them and give us the budget figures and so forth. It's going to Bill Swing's going to turn out to be the real bad guy here. He's the one who engineered the virus testing on populations all over Africa. I just, like I said, it's hard to come up with a country he didn't do this, and the body bags prove it. Just look at body bag orders for DynCorp. So where there's mining, there tends to be human harvest. It just seems more and more like that. And again, if I'm wrong, then publish the 650,000 emails with the metadata and just prove me wrong. You're going to find out. It's right there. And why do I say that? I keep going back to this. This is the police chief. He says that this is like him giving a press conference. Today, I want to tell you all that there were 650,000 emails found on Anthony Weidner's server, and they contained information of child exploitation, sex crimes, perjury, obstruction of justice, money laundering, and pay to play. Okay, we tend to, the reporters seem to believe police chiefs when they come out and do these press conferences. Why not believe Robert Boyce? Why cover this? Why bury the story? So anyway, anyone has information about this. Oh, by the way, that boat, that Comfort U.S. Navy boat, went back here in October, and some people say it's heading there now. I don't know about how to track that geographically. If anybody knows anybody who's on that ship, it'd be interesting to see where they dock and then see the movements late at night, 2 to 4 a.m., 2 to 4 a.m. A lot of people are saying, oh, they're cleaning up all these virus tests, you know, that they've been running. Interesting theory. I don't have any proof of that right now, so I'll just leave it there. That's probably a good slide to end on. We'll get to, if the DynCorp wasn't involved in all these vaccine companies and they didn't have all these tests going around and they didn't have bioweapons pharma in their portfolio, then this would probably be idle speculation. But, you know, where there's smoke, there's fire. If you're developing bioweapons, you got to test them on somebody. And when you have Bill Swing in your group, you know, he's got a history of doing that. So, and again, if you watch the movie, if you don't believe me. Same thing with organ harvesting. Kagame, right now, going to go to the prayer breakfast in 3 days. He's the one who threw these bodies in Rwanda. So there they are. This is the lake. It's going to be the same guy who did it in Haiti. And I think he's going to be the same person. Those same people who did this, I think, are going to be in Chicago right now. Okay. And no amount of Yale, you know, putting the glasses on and giving you a tie is going to wash away this blood from all this situation. Okay, that's it for round 2.